The following is a summary of what Nintendo and the Zelda team have provided on Tears of the Kingdom from 2017 to the final trailer, including key art, like this one of Princess Zelda with a new Sheikah slate now in Link's possession, along with Ganondorf, Sidon, Riju, and Tulin rather than Teba, all with a glowing Tears of the Kingdom, plus Boss Bokoblin and that construct we're yet to see in action. So be sure to leave a like and subscribe as we're going for 2023 likes. When we wanted to add bigger changes, DLC is not enough, and that's why we thought maybe a sequel would be a good fit. One of the reasons we wanted to create a continuation was because I wanted to revisit that Hyrule again and use that world again, while incorporating new gameplay and new story. End quote. Series producer Eiji Aonuma. Technically, the planning of this game started before Breath of the Wild's release. What would become Tears of the Kingdom, the realization of unrealized past Zelda ideas. First shown at E3 in 2019 as Breath of the Wild's sequel, when it was also confirmed that it started its existence as DLC 3. The return of Ganondorf through the upheaval which first freed, then rehydrated him, to ultimately, with the red tear, grant him ultimate demise-like form and powers. With it, he also restored the traditional 3D Trinity, where he represented the Triforce of Power for the first time since 2006. Well, that, Link's new green hand that we now know is of a Zonai, but also sending malice into the sky to reveal the Sky Islands and the fallen pieces of it on the surface. Just in line with the true theme of this game, endless combinations. The most overarching being seen in the story, being the beginning and end, with a sort of return of Goddess Hylia in Zelda and Demon King Demise in Ganondorf is being teased through the Tears of the Kingdom they hold, or at the very least channeling their energy through the Magatama stones. A true war for the future, but also past on the existing surface. As Princess Zelda might be trapped, or depending on the perspective, kept safe in the past, when at least one of the Zonai still lived. Zelda appears to have time traveled when she was falling with her golden Tears of the Kingdom clenched in her left arm. This one, as we have seen from the final trailer, holds the kanji of time, also seen for Link's recall ability. At the same time, Nintendo has made it clear that in the time skip present from Breath of the Wild, familiar locations on the surface have been dramatically transformed with new towns, dank caves, and mysterious gaping chasms that have sprung up across the world, all waiting to be explored. What is certain though is that the Great Deku Tree is no more, at least not on the surface. In fact, he might just be seen in this flashback scene when Link re-pulled the Master Sword for a record third time. A likely flashback taking place weeks, days, or perhaps even hours before the failure underground. An event that was first teased in 2019 and then again in 2021. But between those two, we also got Age of Calamity in 2020, a story about take this, time travel to the past, followed by the reveal of Skyward Sword HD in February 2021, another story of time travel to the past. Anyway, E3 2021 celebrated Zelda's 35th anniversary before...
This is the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
But really, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
We're aiming for a 2022 release,
which changed to spring 2023 by March 2022, and finally to May 12, 2023 in September 2022. The starting Sky Islands, where Nintendo has confirmed that we will gain the 4 powers we will soon detail. No doubt, Tears is filled with probably more Sky Islands than shrines present in Breath of the Wild, all involving skydiving, being knocked off Sky Islands, aerial combat, puzzle solving, and different ways of traversal to and across floating landmasses of varying size and purposes. Found in all 3 official trailers in 2022 and 2023, and prior to that in 2021 patents, the 2019 and 2021 teasers, and from March 2023, actual gameplay. A realm full of divine Japanese-inspired locations and ginkgo trees that we first learned of the damaged Master Sword in March 2022. Either way, Link is facing his greatest quest, while Ganondorf leads his madness from our former stronghold, the Great Plateau. This has allowed for new settlements, even in the ruins of Castletown next to Hyrule Castle. And with Ganondorf unleashing fresh cataclysms in Eldin and Death Mountain, hence why Yunobo and Teba have been kept away from the marketing. since in these territories we find far more powerful Malice enemies and numerous new ones, along with terrifying new bosses in the sky and surface. Add to that a combination of regular enemies and overworld bosses. But luckily, that is exactly what stone tanks are for. But this time we want the enemy loot, as all of them have weapons or shields for horns, all which can naturally be used by Link when the monsters fall, especially the Lionel Katana. The powers of the Dragon Tribe have granted Link abilities out of this world: Recall, Fuse, Ultra Hand, and Ascent. The ultimate combination of Time Uno Reversal, redefining weapons and items including those attached to enemies, construction of vehicles, and traversal, all going in line with producer Anuma's promise when delaying the game. Quote, "The expanded world goes beyond the Sky Islands, and there will be an even wider variety of features you can enjoy, including new encounters and gameplay possibilities." Now everyone sees what he meant with the 3 layers present in this game. Endless possibilities in a true sandbox, where everything from Breath of the Wild has been upgraded, and what is not carrying over has been replaced by what seems to be much better newcomers. The Zonai soldier constructs are protectors, which are adorable and terrifying at the same time. Luckily, this time we also have docile ranger NPCs, caretakers, who we can also interact with. We're yet to see rangers on the surface, but it wouldn't surprise us since their aggressive cousins are already here and underground. The ancient Sheikah shrines, towers, and most weaponry, gone. Now they are limited to wooden towers and elevators leading underground, and a changed focus from ancient Sheikah to times unknown Zonai, all to counter the forces of power. And we see this as parts of Kakariko has seen damage from sky debris. But back to the development history of this game, as it has broken all kinds of records. Over 3 years to get the title of the 20th Zelda game, but for a good reason, as the title is also a spoiler, Tears of the Kingdom. But it also represents something else, the longest drought between installments in the Zelda series. 6 years, 2 months, and 9 days to be precise. At least we avoided 7, the number of the Tears of the Kingdom surrounding the figure with its own tier. We have already seen several allocated to the multiple key sage-like characters, several of them the successors of the champions, and the hint that they might be channeling their origin point. Zelda Hylia, Ganondorf Demise, Riju Naburu, and Sidon, potentially Ruto. The last 2 being 2 sages in Ocarina of Time, and the color of their medallions match the color of the new tiers. Perhaps the name of the divine beasts were a source of inspiration for this sequel. With that said, the final trailer was also soaked with elements of Twilight Princess, both when it comes to story and gameplay, but most of all, the return of Ganondorf after 17 years. Yes, this game calls back a lot, but it also innovates like no other, through technology and out-of-this-world abilities. Zonai rockets fused to shields, shield fused to swords, batteries or generators that are turned into traps, live projectiles that are Uno reversed, along with gacha machines, are just a taste of what we experience in the game. And much of this is possible thanks to a Zonai item with 8 slots tied to Link's new arm. Very likely Link's battery power banks.
B8 to res. B8 to res. Batteries.
It's sailing pretty fast with the wind from the fans.
We have seen Link climb the cliffs of the Sky Islands, glide, ascend, and recall all in the same green tunic first introduced in 2021. Though even less than a month prior to release, we were yet to see more of this tree route, and more interestingly, skydiving combat. A lot of other changes have also taken place on the surface as time has passed. New building projects, altered locations in addition to the fallen sky rocks, Zonai launch points to the sky, but also new entrances underground, where monsters and soldier constructs await. Dungeons have also been teased as temples rise up, and we also have the Zonai Golem like Wind Waker's Godam. But for now, let's stick to what is confirmed, namely caves. First teased in Faron in September 2022, prior to the release we know that both the surface and sky have caves which we can ascend up to higher locations. In both we also find vertical minecart rails which can now be shield surfed, though underground we have Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom minecart chases. But over to the monsters. The existing ones have seen a buff, as we will use their horns and helmets for the fuse ability, while others are newcomers. Of the notable new regular enemies, we find a reinvented Moldworm, Redeads, and Cargolocks. The latter can, just like in the Wind Waker, lift enemies, though so far this ability has been limited to Bokoblins. But in the Wind Waker, they also drop down Moblins. Luckily, with a fuse and a key's eye, these can easily be homed in and shot down. In fact, we can combine our arrows with all kinds of inventory items, including meat. I wonder if we can distract the new boss Bokoblins and even the Gliok of the Bridge of Hylia this way, though based on the size of that thing, I doubt. We might also charge into this dragon on Epona, who is back without amiibo for the first time in 17 years. Indeed, Tears is bringing all the greatest Zelda hits for this game, apart from underwater exploration, which is the last thing missing in this marketing. In return, we have Mission Impossible-like sections, we can experience moon-like gravity thanks to Zonai technology, and even sky water bubbles that we can swim in. That right there is called Hope, for more on the surface. Plus a multitude of terrifying new sky bosses, including what looks like Ice Goma and a shark-like Yorg that rivals even the one found in Majora's Mask. Ganondorf has brought back the true Blood Moon, and with it, far more locations of malice on the surface. The Zonai have also left their mark, apart from minor structures and the ruins present in Breath of the Wild, mainly through more structures and geoglyphs. At the moment of the final trailer, we had seen 6 of them in total. But the Zonai also etched out their history in solid rock, including the stone carving, which at last is complete now that we also have Ganondorf, and what appears to have been a Zonai traitor below him, detailing a battle, or more precisely war, long before Breath of the Wild's battle 10,000 years ago. This is not the story of the triumph against Calamity Ganon, but a far earlier conflict against Ganondorf and his stronger minions with far longer horns than we saw in Breath of the Wild, but which are back with the return of the rehydrated king with an ultimate form that puts the ancient Sheikah-like mummy to shame. Opposite invading hordes are soldiers with swords and shields that we did not see in Breath of the Wild. Truly an event that Link and Zelda had no idea of before and after the calamity. But now, Zelda probably wished she never touched. After all, she misses Link and her friends in her new location and time. Instead, her company is with the Zonai, while Link has to face their soldier constructs in the present, the protectors of the sky, and the parts that have now landed on the surface. The secrecy of Tears of the Kingdom was immense, but now that we know that we can recruit and command fighting squads and fight alongside the successors of the champions, we see the unrivaled ambition of this game. Yes, they might even be proper partners for a longer section of the game than just disabling a divine beast. All tied to sections, both in the sky and underground, that are themed to their tribes. Now that is what you call a sequel that stands on its own and in many ways overshadows the original. Then again, despite potential flashbacks, it is clear that this will have a better story. Ganondorf is here, the Zonai are here, and most of all, our favorites from Breath of the Wild. The Zelda team waited patiently until after the Mario movie to dive beyond a 4-part, 10-minute gameplay presentation detailing abilities and vehicle possibilities on the now confirmed starting collection of Sky Islands. But they did show the first Zelda-themed Switch system and Pro Controller prior to said movie. Yes, we combined the 2023 February Direct trailer, March gameplay demonstration, plus hardware reveal in it, and the final April trailer together throughout this video. After all, that is what this game is all about. But we are staying away from the collector's edition revealed in February, including the leaked art book, which is now in the US justice system. The same goes with leaked commercials, because that is not how you treat the creators of this game. The Zelda team that deserves a true shout-out rather than spending a minute on exclusive merchandise at Nintendo stores in Japan and Ichiban raffles. Headed by series producer Eiji Aonuma and director plus genius Hidemaru Fujibayashi, the team has surpassed even the wildest expectations. In return, Tears has record-high pre-orders, so thank you for all you have done. We are now in the final days to the launch of the most anticipated game, but naturally, we're just getting started with our Tears of the Kingdom content. So be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to our channel, and press that notification bell, and again for all notifications to not miss any upcoming content. A big thanks goes to you for watching, our great patreon.com/Comeron patrons, and in particular to our raw producer Charles Yash. You rock, and please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos.